Welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Wendy Karn, and I am your intern minister and also your worship associate today. I'm joined by Jacob Swetlin, our director of music ministries. Karen Magoon Pearson is on vacation this week, so we wish her well and we look forward to seeing her back here next week. She's getting more things together as she relaxes. So our minister, Sean Wilshire, is not leading the service today, but she has a special message for you.
Hello, Roomers and Zoomers. So I'm away this week, but my spirit is with you. For those of you who are new to the church, maybe you're just checking us out or curious about Unitarian Universalism, welcome. Glad you're here. You are in for a treat. This is a wonderful, friendly, fabulous, just all-around spectacular community. I hope you can get to know them, because it can be kind of tough to get to know a new community. But here's the thing, just hang in there, join in one of the activities, and before long, you'll get to know people, and then this becomes your church. Well, today we've planned a wonderful service for you, just blending music and word to bring together a helpful and hope-filled message. We hope it will feed your soul. So without further ado, let's go.
Thank you, Sean. We would also like to recognize the many volunteers who have helped put our service together today. They are here on the board. Thank you so much, volunteers. Today, we are delighted to have the Reverend Judy Tomlinson here for a special fire communion service offering both completion of the year and blessings for the year to come. We'll be having a happy new year, and we're not going to be having our traditional joys and sorrows today. Our fire ritual will take the place of that. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of beliefs or rules, but rather a covenant. A covenant being simply a promise that whatever our beliefs, we affirm one another and encourage each other in our spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that the existence is all interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we are committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. To our roomers, we invite you to silence your phones. And for our Zoomers, we encourage you to say hello in the chat. We're glad you're here. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you will find it here. And later in the service, there'll be an opportunity for you to get up and introduce yourself if you so choose. We would love to meet you. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May the flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears for the future, our worries about today. May it brightly light us a path of joy and peace. Join me as I light our chalice and saying our traditional chalice lighting. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. This we affirm together. Body or spirit for our opening hymn.
Soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle darkness, soft and still. Bring your quiet that my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me.
As the year winds down to its close, and we are submerged once again in the seasonal darkness we have all come to know so well, we have reason to think back upon the year that was, if only because it will be soon gone. We think back of the friends that we have made, the sorrow we have endured, the love that we have found, the loneliness that we have survived. We think back to the blessings of being forgiven and the gift we offered to ourselves when we forgave. We think back to those who listened in our time of need and the times that we could have listened more. We think back to the things that we traded for our time and to what we may have overlooked in the process. We think back to times when we were afraid and uncertain, and we trudged ahead anyway. And the times that we were compassionate when we could have been cold. In this season of still growing light, may we see more clearly against the dark backdrop of our living, the true light of our lives, the love that we give to others, and the peace we nurture in ourselves. Come, let us explore these themes more deeply in our worship together this New Year's Eve. And now our musical affirmation, Fire of Creation.
It starts very quietly. It starts with a spark. It starts in the center. It starts in the heart. It starts very quietly. It starts with a spark. It starts in the center. It starts in the heart.
Fire of creation, fire of purification, fire of transformation, fire of illumination, fire of creation, fire of purification, fire of transformation, fire creation. Fire of creation.
It starts very quietly.
Fire of creation.
Let us join in a spirit of prayer and meditation with the words from Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. In the shadowed quiet of winter's light, earth speaks softly of her longing, because the wild places are in tears. Come, she cries to us, kneel down here on the wet grass and feel the prayer buried in the ground. Bend your ear to my heart and listen hard. Love this world, she whispers. Distill peace from the mountain snow and water the cities with mercy. Weave wonder from the forest and clothe grief with beauty. Rest in the rhythm of the turning year. Trace the bending arc, round the curve toward justice, and vow anew to do no harm. The winter trees stand watch, hallowed in the last gleams of the slanting sun. Glory sings here. Heaven echoes the call. Repeat the sounding joy. Make your life an answer. Bow, praise, rise. So may it be. And let us join in singing our centering hymn, Return Again.
Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul.
In the season of endings and beginnings, when the small signs of dawn pierce through the night and something new is born. But first comes the waiting. First come the lessons of endings and beginnings, the presence of life, the sheltering spirit of love, grieves with those who sweep up the debris of loss, waits with those who restlessly reach out for change. Grant us the courage in the night to guard each other's dreams for this holy, wondrous universe. Grant us, O universe, unfolding in mystery, a sense of your timing, May we loosen our grip on that which does not serve us, leaving behind that which we have outworn and outgrown.
When I heard the Venerable's robes rustle at what I estimated to be about 40 minutes, and yet she did not give the signal that our sitting meditation had ended, that's when I knew she would take us to the full hour. But my knees were complaining and my mind was bored with counting breaths. What do you do in the time remaining? Suddenly, a stray thought entered. What if this was your last breath? Funny thing, I immediately began to breathe slower, drawing in the air to fill every crevice of my lungs and then slowly pushing it out until there was nothing left to expel. Well, I thought, I must want to live. Of course, when I got to the end of that last breath, I was still there. So I began another breath, still asking, what if this were your last breath? There were flashes of regret, unfinished projects, loved ones grieving, but one breath isn't enough time to do anything about regrets. There was only enough time to experience the moment, to know I was there, breathing. Inhalation, exhalation. When the moment passed, there was the next moment and the next. In this way, I spent the remaining 20 minutes entirely in the present. Outside of the meditation hall, we still plan for the future and think of the past, but so often we replay past regrets and worry about the future, all those events that point to where we're no longer present in the present. As the Venerable says, we forget that we are breathing. What if this were your last breath?
An earnest 6-year-old once informed me that hummingbirds must have nectar every 10 minutes, so I knew the situation was urgent. I had walked into an empty old house that was not entirely empty. A hummingbird, trapped inside, was frantically trying to get out the quickest way it knew how. Follow the light, head for the sky. Yet window panes would not yield. The front door already open, I opened another wide, hoping to increase the chance of escape. The bird, its wings a thrumming blur, moved away from the window. For the briefest moment, I thought it might find its escape. It did not. Instead, it flew further into the house, drawn to a different window. I climbed awkwardly on the back of a couch next to the window. When I reached the high sash, I beheld the hummingbird, a worrisome lack of motion. It was alive, but exhausted. I cupped my hands around this tiny sentient being. It yielded. There was not much else I could do. Such is the case with surrender. It is the last thing, often the only thing, available. And so we give ourselves to it. We fear it is our end. Sometimes, with grace or luck, we find it is our liberation. I walked that bird to the outside. Stopping at a tall, branch-laden bush, I stuck my hands into its depths and opened them wide. In the time it took my heart to skip a beat, the bird jumped into the bush, then into the world beyond. Surely this was a time for exaltation, yet I found myself sobbing, surrendering to a crest of emotion I could not name then, still cannot name now, but could only ride and allow to flow through me.
Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates and our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise.
Please join us in singing our journeying song, Rise Up, O Flame.
Fire is a very powerful element. It conjures passion, anger, desire, and resentment. It can destroy and radically alter that which it touches. Yet it creates an expanse for new life to emerge and return richness to the seemingly barren. Roomers, I hope you all picked up a piece of flash paper on your way in, 2 pieces, and a pencil. And our ushers will assist you if you don't have them yet. So if you just raise your hands if you need any. And I'll need some up here at the burning bowl at some point. So Zoomers, with fire safety in mind, you too can burn some paper at home in your fireplace or in a fireproof cooking pot. Have some water nearby, or you can simply write in the chat that you would like us to burn a paper for you. Simply write something that you have, that you would like to let go of, and that you have a prayer or hope for in the new year. We will say your name, but keep your letting go and your hope private. No need to write that in the chat. We have all, through our readings, I hope, begun to think about relinquishing the old, about uncertainty, letting go of the belief that tells you, I can't trust, I'm not ready, I can't let go. We have also imagined, once again, I hope, starting anew, opening up to a more confident self that will bring new opportunity into our lives and allow us to step into love that will create a new way of being. But first comes the act of faith, the letting go. There is power in ritual. And so I invite you to write on your first piece of paper those things from which you would like to be unburdened and would like to put behind you: guilt, habits, hurts, resentments. And once you have done that and been unfettered by those things that are troubling you, having the faith to let go and make room for the new, what hope fills your mind? What if you knew there was a way out. Where does your imagination take you? What visions flutters before your eyes? I invite you to write that on your second piece of paper. You now have a cleansing and a prayer, and I invite you to come quietly and silently up to the burning bowl and entrust them to the purifying flames. May what you have released here be forever gone from your spirit and cease to trouble you. May you be relieved and renewed, ever mindful that love is always more powerful than fear, and that compassion is the key to freedom from resentment. May your hope for the new be your commitment and your prayer. May it offer guidance and direction for you as you take your first steps into the new year. There once was a dervish, a holy man, and his student who were walking down a long, quiet road, and suddenly they saw dust rising in the distance. They soon saw that the dust was being caused by a speeding carriage. They was pulled by 6 galloping horses, and the carriage was heading straight toward them. 2 men could see that the carriage was not going to slow down or veer to avoid them. In fact, it was coming right at them at such speed that to spare life and limb, they had to throw themselves unceremoniously into a ditch by the side of the road. As the carriage sped by, the 2 men got up as quickly as they could and looked back at the carriage. The student was about to curse the carriage and its occupants, but before he did, the teacher ran up the road after them, calling, "May all of your deepest desires be fulfilled." The student was stunned. "Why would you wish something so good for those men?" he asked. "They forced us into the ditch. They could have hurt us or worse." The teacher answered, "Do you really think that if their deepest desires were satisfied, they would go around treating others the way they treated us?" I have to say that personally, 2023 was a good year for my husband Rob and me. We got to travel. I got serious about the gym. He published a book, and I went back to work part-time. We are both newly filled with purpose, and I've been stretched by new challenges and connections. Beyond our little world, though, I find it hard to understand the cruelty that we witness every day across the planet. How do individuals get caught up in larger, mindless, destructive systems that are able to overwhelm whole societies and even the global community? I don't have an answer, but I do think that our society has been impacted little by little as we put wealth, celebrity, pleasure, and power at the center. These seem to have become the central goals of many individual lives and our society as a whole, without the constraints of spiritual values, family, and community service. Wealth, celebrity, pleasure, and power, those are 4 idols that Thomas Aquinas identified in the 13th century. It has a kind of paradoxical effect because it seems that the closer people get to those idols and fulfilling them, it dawns on them that those things won't actually deliver all the fulfillment that they had imagined, and the more disappointed they become. As those goals become increasingly central to our culture, it's hard to deny that we have increasingly become an unhappier and lonelier society. It's become epidemic, a genuine public health problem. Because of that, numerous physicians, including our United States Surgeon General, sociologists, and other scientists have begun to study unhappiness and loneliness more deeply. They consistently find direct links to bad health outcomes and even death. And that realization has caused many experts to start studying the other side of the coin. They are increasingly analyzing the things that contribute to happiness. And the good news is that exploration has produced results. They have come up with some recommendations. Here's the number one thing that they advise us to do: make friends. Make real friends. For me, making connections is vital, and I'm blessed and thankful that I have close friends. And it's often the number one value that people identify when they are asked, what's most important to you about church? What do people answer? Community, right? I know that is one of the things that gives meaning to my life. And so, I know I might be projecting here, but I can't help but wonder, is it possible that people might just listen to those experts and act on that advice? What if people made a conscious effort to make friends, real friends? And if they did, and I hesitate to say this too loud, but is there a glimmer of a chance that a more connected society would somehow happen? What if it did? I can't help but believe that we would be in a happier place. It seems to me it would inevitably lead to a less cruel society and less global conflict. Wouldn't it increase our recognition of those in need? Wouldn't it increase our willingness to lend a hand to those crying out for help? Would those people then be less likely to get sucked into destructive patterns and organizations? Perhaps it's a fantasy, but I've decided to devote this year to studying and teaching about happiness and what contributes to it. And I'm hoping that others will join me on the journey. Starting today, as we prepare to wish each other a happy new year. Happiness, says Harvard professor Arthur C. Brooks, is not just a feeling. It is pleasure combined with good company, friends and family, that creates a good feeling and good memories. He says, you never see a Budweiser commercial with a single guy holed up in his home downing a six-pack. You always see him having a blast with his buddies. Even the advertisers recognize that happiness is pleasure combined with good times and your people. Brooks co-authored a recently released book with Oprah Winfrey called The Art and Science of Getting Happier, Building the Life You Want. In it, they identified 4 pillars that uphold happiness and that you need to contribute to every single day: family, friends, faith, and meaningful work in service of the world. Pretty simple, right? Not long ago, Brooks spoke with Stephanie Rule on MSNBC. She asked what a day that would lead to happiness would look like. He advised starting by reading something spiritual and something hard that you have to really think about. That's the faith aspect. Brooks also suggests experiencing something transcendent, something we marvel at, the glorious night sky, music that moves us, amazing art that catches our breath. Dasher Keltner, psychology professor at UC Berkeley, tells us to find awe. He defines that as the emotion we experience when we encounter vast mysteries that we don't understand. Brooks has a little aphorism that employs the word God, so if you need to replace that with anything like the universe or a similar idea, plug that in. He says, today, The world gives us a simple formula for living: love things, use people, and worship yourself. This is completely upside down. The right formula is love people, use things, and worship God. Next, he advises us to pick up the phone or visit with a family member outside our household, and do that every day. Maintaining relationships with our family, even persons we disagree with, is central to our happiness. Some disagreements can actually be beneficial. It causes us to think and expand our minds. Get respectfully curious. And keep our first UU principle in mind: the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Then he tells us to talk with real friends, not, as his son once dubbed them, deal friends. Brooks says that real friends are useless in the best sense of the word. That is, a real friendship isn't a transactional relationship. It's based in love and respect. Brooks talks with real friends for an hour, at least once a week, really listening and investing in the relationship. And we aren't, I'm sorry to say, talking about social media here. That is the junk food of relationships. It fills you up without being nourishing. Lastly, ensure that your job is creating value in your life, that it serves people, lifts them up, and hopefully brings them together. He asks us to engage in work, whether gainful employment or volunteer, that challenges us to use our gifts and talents while helping make the world a better place. If we're not doing that now, what do we need to do to move in that direction? Oh, and he says there's one last thing to do before your head hits the pillow at the end of the day. Do an inventory of those 4 goals. Did I do them? Yes or no? So if we really want to have a happy new year, maybe this is one way, a no-cost way to start. It doesn't even involve a diet or going to the gym, though those can be worthwhile too. To me, it revolves about keeping love at the center of our lives, as Dr. King advised. And I'm convinced that if we can do that, we will not only experience greater happiness, we will be gifted with better health and maybe even longevity. And in my dream, if we all start down this path, we might unleash a power that can transform our culture and maybe possibly the world. And if that's a little grandiose for you, how about starting with one life that we have control over? And maybe our efforts will catch fire. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's join in singing our closing hymn, Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze,
Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that friends and members raise all the funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit by generously sharing half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. And this month, it is Share Ourselves, and you can read all about them on the slide up here. There are multiple ways about which you can contribute and support this church. You can mail a check, you can go to our website, or use an app called Venco Mobile. And if you are a roomer, you can also simply use the basket. As it's passed around to you, the choice is yours, and all of the information is on our website should you need it.
Come and join the spiral, take our hands. We are sisters of a chosen clan. There's a circle here where magic flows, and we keep the fire burning. Through the night we rest assured, when shadows fall, a song will comfort. The homeland heart, its rhythm strong, shines on every tender soul. Share your laughter and your tears, and know the circle will enfold you. Listen closely to this sound. The answer's here and all around, around, around. Together we weave a tapestry of light. It haunts us through our passages of life. Women's hearts unite in love and soul, and the fire we keep alive and strong. Through the night you can be sure a woman's spirit will enfold you. Listen closely to your heart, the answer's here, the answer's here. Come and join the spiral, take our hands. We are sisters of the chosen clan. There's a circle here where magic flows, and we keep the fire.
Gathered Together, a song that puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts that we share.
We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We care from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
So as we extinguish our chalice today, we'll join and sing our unison closing. We extinguish our chalice, but not the warmth of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are a congregation made up of people who all believe differently, and yet we gather together. We're in the same room, and we're still part of this one loving community growing together. If you are a guest today or a visitor or someone who hasn't been yet known to us, I invite you to become part of this loving community. We encourage you to either write in the chat if you're a Zoomer or if you're a roomer, to stand for a brief moment if you're comfortable and tell us your name and where you are from.
Hello, my name is Timothy. I'm from Christmas Eve. Oh, I don't like mics.
Okay.
Oh. I well, I got interrupted somehow. I don't even know where I was going. Anyway, I attended last Christmas Eve. It was lovely, and so here I am today. I'm only coming through briefly. I'm in a 90-day treatment program, and so I want to lift up the alcoholics and the people who struggle with addiction. So,
Amen.
I'm Annabelle. I'm from Irvine, and I'm happy to be here today.
I'm Daniel from Irvine. Same.
Oh, okay. I'll come to them next. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Arlene Kohlrick. I'm from Olympia, Washington area, and I'm a member of OUUC, Olympia Unitarian Universalist
Woohoo!
Congregation. Here visiting my mom, who lives in Stanton in a retirement community.
Welcome.
Nico, I'm from Irvine. I'm also trying to find a queer-friendly church. I went to another one that wasn't. I'm trying to break away from that. So yeah.
Henry from Irvine, visiting, and I've had some relationship with people in the UU in Anaheim and San Diego.
Yeah, Barbara, visiting from Irvine, just checking out different spiritual communities. Thank you.
Well, visitors, welcome. We're so glad that you came today and hope to see you back in the future. If you would like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at hello@ocuuc.org, and we will help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuuc.org. We want everyone to feel part of this beloved community, so please reach out and we will help you get connected. So we have a few announcements today. First off, I wanted to let you know that sermon discussion groups will be resuming in the month of January. We are finalizing the times right now, but if you would like to talk to me after the service, I'd be happy to take your name and respond directly when we get those finalized, but we'd like to start within the month of January. So if you're interested, there will be 3 groups, 2 in the afternoons, 1 in the evening, and all the information for sign up will additionally be in our blast coming out this week. So in addition to that, we have the book club coming up, and choir rehearsal resumes at 7 p.m. on Thursday. So if you're interested in singing or you're already in choir, Thursday it's on. And Stitchwits is happening, and our atheist, humanist, agnostic group is Sunday, 12:15 p.m. So anyway, with that, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. It's next week. It is once a month. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I think that's just about everything. I have one rather large announcement today. So because it is raining, it's surprisingly raining today, coffee is going to be in the Victoria Room this morning after the service. So please feel free to gather inside the Victoria Room. And if you're a visitor, it's through this door. And you'll find it. It's right in the middle of the room. So that's it. We'll invite Reverend Judy back for our benediction.
What makes us human beings so uniquely wonderful is in this puzzling universe is that we never give up on love. Against all odds, with no guarantee of being loved in return, out of hate and hurt that so often land on us, in the face of sad, suffering history has let us see, we go on loving with deep respect we deserve for this capacity of ours, to make love out of anything and to let it last. Let us go out in peace. Service is ended. Let our service continue. Happy New Year, everyone.